Welcome to UK Theme Parks. My name's Adam and we are at Thorpe Park, sort of, at Thorpe Park. Having a little walk, as we do, to check out what's going on and see whether or not we can see anything close season related, anything new, anything sort of exciting that might be coming in 2022. Now, we've started down this end, as we always do, with the Rumba Rapids. And look, the boats are covered up, Kurt. It's like we've been saying it for years. Protect the paintwork, cover the boats. Now obviously the ones that are in a little bit of pieces aren't, but the rest of them are. I'm really impressed, Kurt.
Yeah, they're not usually that way.
No. So yeah, look, they're all, I mean, they look like, it's really weird because the park's only been closed a few weeks. It just looks like they've been sat here forever. You know, autumn's here, all the leaves have come down. You can probably hear us raking through the leaves on the floor. But the Rumba Rapids boats are all closed up. Now, we did walk from the other end, so we have had a little walk through to see what we can see. It's good to see the Inferno train is out, get a nice shot of that for you. And of course, Old Town, which is mass speculation, what's happening in Old Town, etc, etc. Well, you can't actually see a lot into Old Town anymore because of the way the Platform 15 maze has been sort of redirected over the last couple of years. You can't really see a lot in there. We can see the Lumberjunk's still there. We can see that, Gut.
Yeah.
We can see that. But here's the Rumba Rapids. So Rumba Rapids, you can see stealth in the background. Obviously, we're not expecting to see much movement.
No.
No, we're not expecting to see much movement of anything as the clear season's just shut. Now, if anyone's been following the channel, you can see we've been down to our local parks, completely stripped. I think people think, oh, you know, we've got to leave it a month before coming down and anything's done. But, you know, the local parks that only have arguably a couple of handfuls of rides compared to, you know, Thorpe Park, big Merlin parks, or any of the big theme parks. They're completely stripped down, ready, NDT testing, getting it, you know, sorted so they can get it rebuilt all ready for the new season, which seems a long way away. But in terms of sort of construction and what they need to do, it's really not that far. So when it comes to places like Thorpe Park, and it comes to, you know, these massive machines which they need to strip, you know, multi-million-pound trains and rides down, things are really going to be on the go already. Now, looking through towards the teacups, obviously the gates stay open during the closed season, so you can have a little look. You can't see much going on at the top of stealth there. Can't see the teacups on their side either. It's all very quiet. It's all very quiet. All very quiet down here at Thorpe Park. But nothing in the Inferno station. But as you see when we come along here, you will see that the train is actually out on the track, or one of the trains is out on the track, sort of semi-stripped, which I find a little bit peculiar. It's semi-stripped. So of course Inferno is one of the best coasters you can sort of see from the walk down here. And you usually get to see any track repairs they're doing. We've had that in the past where the corkscrew and the interlocking parts have been sort of done. And you can see trains and things as well that are being stripped out. And you'll be able to see just here, we'll get another shot in a minute, of a train is actually sitting in the brake run. It's all been covered up. It's missing front and back seats while it undergoes a bit of winter maintenance. But we'll go around the corner and show you that a bit better. So the train is stripped back, front and back, with the seats and things still remaining in the middle, and it's actually been all covered up as well, so the it's not being hit by the elements. It's very strange to see, particularly strange to see that it's got seats in the middle and everything's been removed from the front and back. Very, very peculiar to see. Of course, as we walk along here now, you'll see the reminiscence of what was Blair Witch Project, which it didn't open for Fright Nights. Nothing actually opened down this bit for Fright Nights. Becomes really sort of apparent as you walk down. Now, it's hard to believe that this used to be a walk-through here. It just looks a bit derelict. Obviously nothing reopened in this part for this year, but you can still see reminiscence of the previous maze. All the electrics are still in here. We see this every time. Obviously, you know, we saw elements of the big top come back this year in trailers, but you can see where some of the original woodwork went to build this. That's how long that's been here. That's how long big top's been gone. You can see all the wires are still connected, all the lights.
Except that one.
Except that wire. That wire might not be connected anymore. Now here is the back of platform 15. So this was sort of the end of it, and this is actually what blocks your view into Old Town. Now we can see sort of through here that we can see that the timber tugboat and the lumber jump, they are still there, 100% still there. You can probably see both, just about see both through the trees. But in terms of Rocky Express, I have to say, we're struggling to find a viewpoint of it. But we will carry on looking. But yeah, just in the meantime, this was the back of platform 15. This was obviously completely redone a couple of years ago and changed again slightly this year as well for end of the line. So we do know obviously that platform 15, that's it now, that's not coming back. So we do know that is done and dusted. Obviously what we don't know is why it's done and dusted. You know, the mass hysteria that we're going to get something new here and it's all changed and etc, etc, etc is all very well, but they could just be replacing this with something else. You know, thus far we have no planning permission at all for anything new. We have no indication of anything new, and I saw the mass excitement over Loggers Leap, which we'll look at in a minute. We'll continue our walk down here. So when it comes to Rocky Express, we can't show you any pictures or anything because it's there, but we have lifted Cody up on our shoulders and he can definitely see it. It's there, it's still there. So, you know, I don't know what you take from that, because we're walking past Slammer that's been non-operating now since time begun, and indeed Loggers Leap, which has been since time begun. So I don't know what you take from that, to be honest with you. I don't know. Am I expecting this area to close next year? No, I'm not expecting it to close next year. There's no... Where are you going, Cod?
I got caught on the end of a frog.
There's no planning permission gone in for anything. You know, the speculation that goes around, and we see the same videos, usually from the same people every year, saying this is coming next year, this is coming next year.
It never does.
It's just not. It never does, no. Now then, you'll have seen some pictures as well from various people from Loggers Leap saying that it started being torn down because elements had changed over the last sort of 5 years. I think, again, could we just pop this into perspective? Two things to look at here. One, it's going to decay. Wood is going to decay. The ride is going to decay. It's not being maintained. It's not being worked on. No one's walking around it. It's obviously going to start falling apart, which is exactly what it looked like. Two, they're not going to remove a tiny bit, like half a lift hill belt, and then do nothing else. You know, people have been around long enough now to realise that the flume at Alton Towers, that's it, came down in a few days. Come down in a few days, gone. You know, you've got to think of the costs involved in doing it gradually. Bit surprised they left all this stuff here, to be honest, all the flame effects and things. But there's the platform 15, there's the poor train. Love that train. So you've got to think of the cost involved. Why bring someone in, remove a bit of it, take all the machinery out and everything? You just wouldn't do it. You just wouldn't do it. Is this area being developed next year? What do you think, Kat?
No, not a chance.
Cody, what do you think?
Planning permission would be in.
I don't think it is either, to be honest with you. And if it is developed, this will come down overnight. It's as simple as that. It won't come down where a belt's decayed over, you know, 5 years. A few trees have gone missing. I mean, you know, walking along here now, you can see the amount of trees that are falling down. You can see all the snapped ones. You can see all the decay right the way along here from trees that are falling down. Because we have weather, you know, right above us, it's exactly the same. Look, right across there, there's no way that Thorpe Park would have wanted all that. on top of their shed where they store their trains. There's a safety aspect as well to working at the park and working around trees and heights and things. Yeah, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I'll believe it when I see it. That's all I'm going to say, Kurt.
Yeah, that's fair.
I want to build you up promise that there's an RMC coming here next year, but there's not. For like the 5th year running, there's still not. Do I think there ever will be an RMC coming here?
Well, possibly.
I'm going to say
we'd see the plan in a good year beforehand.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say we will not see an RMC on this site at Thorpe Park. I'm putting it out there, Kurt.
This side,
This site.
so not behind Swarm.
At this site. I'm going to put that out there now. Someone will quote me it in 5 years when it opens here. But yeah, that's where I'm quoting. That's what I'm quoting on. But from Thorpe Park, you know, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing the construction. I'm not seeing the deconstruction of Loggers Leap. I'm not seeing the removal of rides. I'm not seeing anything. We're a few weeks into the close season. You know, anything can change. The views aren't as good as Old Town, I get that, but I'm not seeing it. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But I think in order for them to close Old Town next year, we'd already see planning permission. That's my opinion. Why close it if you've got nothing to go there? But from UK Theme Parks, my name's Adam. We will be back at the Thorpe Park. Not quite yet, to be honest, but we'll be back at the Thorpe Park. And there's obviously a lot of people that disappear into this lake. Because that's new, Kurt.
Yeah.
You can open the box and it's actually Thorpe Park branded. Maybe people try and swim to the park. Please don't trespass and swim to the park. It's just not worth your life. But we'll see you next time.